A very good morning, everyone. This is our second meeting for our Physical Education 203, the organization and management of physical education and sports. Okay, so I'm going to discuss for today two topics. The first one is the activities in the elementary school program, and the second one is the activities in the secondary school program. So for this time, we're going to discuss first the physical activities in the elementary school program. Okay, so the activities included under this category are the simple and basic types that can contribute to the normal growth and development of children and which enhance the acquisition of further skills. So this means that kung ano man po yung ating mga kailangang ituro, mga fundamental skills, kailangan ituro natin ng maayos sa elementary students. Bakit? Ito kasi yung magiging foundation ng mga bata. So, kung ano yung mga na-acquired na skills ng bata, ano yung mga na-acquired na learnings ng bata tungkol sa physical education, madadala niya ito hanggang sa kanyang paglaki. Kasi this is the foundation. So, mas maganda sana na kung ano man yung ibabato natin sa bata at this stage in the elementary years, dapat precise, concise, at saka talagang tamang-tama. At syempre, kailangan ang pagbibigay natin ng instruction sa mga bata dito ay simple and basic. Bakit kamo? Kasi bata sila, so mas madali nilang maintindihan kung ang instruction na ibibigay sa kanila ay basic and simple. So, under the activities in the elementary school program, meron tayong 6 na category or main phases. So, ano-ano ba yung mga main phases ng activities in the elementary school program? The first one is the developmental activities. The other one, simple games or group games. Pangatlo, the rhythmic activities. Pang-apat, the educational activities. Pang-lima, the sport type games or also known as the lead-up games. At ang pang-anim ay ang athletic sports. So dito po sa 6 na ito, nagfo-focus ang mga activities in the elementary school program. So alamin natin isa-isa, ano-ano ba itong mga categories na ito. The first one, ang tinatawag natin na developmental activities. So under the developmental activities, meron tayong tatlo. We have the perceptual motor learning. So, this develops the neuromuscular coordination. So, pag sinabi natin na perceptual motor learning for the child to attain a certain degree of competency in managing his own body. Okay, so, dinidevelop dito yung neuromuscular coordination ng mga bata. So, ang bata dito ay may certain degree ng competency na kailangan niyang ma-attain para ma-manage niya ang kanyang sariling katawan. So, ang bata ang magde-decide kung hanggang saan ba ang kaya ng kanyang skills pagdating dito sa perceptual motor learning. Then, we also have the posture and body mechanics. This is the very important thing na dapat ituro sa mga bata, yung proper posture para hindi nila ito madala yung bad posture sa kanilang paglaki. So, posture and body mechanics. So, the posture refers to the habitual or assumed alignment of the main segments of the body while standing, sitting, or lying. So, ito yung paggamit ng katawan bilang basihan ng good posture. Ito yung body mechanics. Okay? So, kailangan kinokorek na natin yung posture ng bata at as an early stage kasi napakasamang tingnan sa isang tao na meron siyang bad posture sa kanyang paglaki. So, habang bata pa, i-develop na natin to. Okay? So, picking up something, going up and down the stairs, and opening doors and windows. Ito yung mga example ng mga activities na dapat ipinapagawa natin sa mga bata to develop their posture. Ulitin ko, yung picking up something, pagkuha ng mga bagay, going up and down, pagbaba, pag-akit sa hagdan, pagsara at pagbukas ng bintana, with proper posture, dapat ito yung dinidevelop natin sa mga bata. And the third one, under the developmental activities, ay ang tinatawag natin na basic movement skills, which includes the locomotor, non-locomotor, and the manipulative skills. Alam ko naman na as an educator, we are all familiar with these movements. We have the locomotor. So ito yung umaalis tayo, moving from one place to another while executing a particular movement. Then we also have the non-locomotor. So static lang yung movement natin, hindi tayo masyadong umaalis sa ating position, pero nagmo-move pa rin tayo. And the manipulative activities in which yung ating katawan ay gumagalaw batay sa idinidikta ng sino man. Okay? So yun yung basic movement skills. We have the locomotor, the non-locomotor, and the manipulative skills. Okay, next. Next category for our activities in the elementary school program ang tinatawag natin na simple games or ang group games. Ano-ano ba yung mga simple games or group games na naaari or pwede sa mga elementary students? Okay, the first one are the story plays. So these are activities wherein young children use their gross bodily movements in their interpretation of a make-believe story or incident in their lives. Kung mapapansin natin kung mapapansin natin teachers, so sa simple games or group games na ito na story plays, magtanong ka sa mga bata, anong nangyari? So ano yung karanasan mo? Ganun. Magkukwento yan. At hindi lang yan basta magkukwento. Sa pagkukwento niyan, so meron siyang mga extra movements, meron siyang mga ginagaya. So kumbaga doon pa lang sa story plays na yon ay meron na tayong mga bodily movements. So ganun magkwento ang mga bata. Okay, gumagalaw sila habang nagkukwento. Okay, the story plays. And then the other one, we have the simple organized games. So itong simple organized games ay a game of this kind is the meaningful application of a basic movement skill or skills such as walking, running, jumping, hopping, skipping, leaping, sliding, and galloping. So, ina-apply dito sa simple organized games yung mga basic movement skills. Dahil ito pa lang yung kanilang mga kayang gawin. At ito yung natural ng ginagawa nila. So, we have the walking, the running, the jumping. So, ikino-combine itong mga basic movements na ito sa isang simple organized games. Okay, so minsan kailangan ng mga batang tumakbo, minsan kailangan ng mga batang tumalon. So, yan, ganyan kasimple yung pinapagawa sa ating mga elementary students. Then we also have the relays and races. Okay, so a relay race is a special form of simple organized game which involves the competition of two or more groups or teams. Mas magkakaroon ng interaction ang mga bata, mas magiging interactive ang games natin kung magkakaroon tayo ng competition between the groups. Pero syempre, instill natin sa mind ng mga bata na dapat ito ay friendly competition. Okay? So kasi kung ikaw ay gagawa just for the sake of compliance, wala dun yung excitement. Pero kung meron kang katunggali, meron kang ka-competitor, mas magandang maglaro nang ikaw ay may hinihit na goal na kailangan mong manalo. So, ito yung kalimitang gusto ng mga bata, yung relays and races. Okay, and that is under the simple games. So, for our simple games, we have the story plays, the simple organized games, and the relays and races. Okay, so for our next category, the third category that we have are the rhythmic activities. Okay, so ano ba yung mga rhythmic activities? So, ito ay tumutukoy sa mga activities kung saan ang bata ay nagre-respond physically, mentally, and emotionally sa rhythm or music. Okay, so pag nakakarinig ang bata ng music, so siya ay kailangang mag-respond. So, yung stimuli niya ay sadyang nag-work para dito sa certain activities na ito. Okay, so the first one, rhythmic activities are the fundamental rhythms. So ito ay combination of locomotor movements which are organized and structured with patterns of movements and fundamental rhythms. Okay, dito sa rhythmic activities, so combination siya ng locomotor movements, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina yung locomotor is moving from one place to another, which are organized and structured. So, meron siyang sinusundan na particular steps dito sa rhythmic activities or the fundamental rhythms. Then the other one, we have the rhythmic interpretations. Ito ay mga activity kung saan ang mga bata ay mag-i-interpret ng kanyang sariling konsepto ng movements. For example, movement ng hayop or imaginary characters or objects or activities. So, halimbawa may napanood yung bata sa television, so ina-act out nila ito batay sa kanilang perception or sa kanilang nakita. So, that is the rhythmic interpretation. Kalimitan ginagaya nila kung ano yung mga napapanood nila. Okay? And under the rhythmic interpretations, meron tayong dalawang uri ng rhythm. We have the mimetic rhythms. Ito yung purely imitative movements done rhythmically. So, ginagaya ang isang bagay purely imitative movements done rhythmically. And the other one, at tinatawag natin na dramatized rhythms. So, rhythmically movements done to portray thoughts or ideas in a nursery rhyme, poem song, or story. So, for example, halimbawa sinabi ng teacher na, okay, so, according sa story, napakasad nila. No? Kailangan nilang umiyak. So, ang tendency ng bata for that is malungkot sila at iiyak sila. So, ganun yung tinatawag natin na rhythmic activities once na ang teacher ay nagsabi ng story o kaya may nursery rhyme, katulad na if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, like that. So, ang tendency ng bata is masaya siya. Okay? So, kung ano man yung nakalagay doon sa mood na tinatawag natin sa nursery rhyme, home song, or story, yun yung ini-imitate ng bata batay sa sinasabi ng teachers, and that is under the rhythmic interpretations. So, ano pa kaya aside from fundamental rhythms and the rhythmic interpretations, meron pa tayong additional 3 rhythmic activities. And the other one, the number 3 rhythmic activities, ang tinatawag natin na singing games. Okay? So, when an activity has both a song and game elements in it, it is called a singing game. Yung akala nila sila ay nagkakantahan lang, not knowing na sila ay naglalaro na din. Okay? O kaya naman ay habang sila ay naglalaro, sila ay kumakanta. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na singing games under the rhythmic activity. So an activity has both a song and game elements in it. At ang tawag doon ay singing games. So the fourth one, ang tinatawag natin na folk dances. Okay, so we are all very much familiar with the folk dances as an educator, and these are the traditional dances that express the thoughts, ideas, and feelings of a group of people. We all know na ang folk dance ay pinag-i-interpret ng isang pangyayari, ng isang lugar. Okay? For example, yung tinikling, kung maaalala natin, ang tinikling ay galing sa salitang tikling na ito ay yung uri ng ibon na sumasayaw habang pumatake yung kawayan, tapos sumasayaw yung ibon, tumatalon-talon sila dun sa kawayan. So, batay doon sa nakitang yun ng mga tao, so, ang tendency, ginaya nila yung movement ng ibong tikling. Kaya ito ay naging isang traditional dance or folk dance nating mga Filipino. So, these are the traditional that express the thoughts, ideas, and feelings of group of people. Okay, kaya meron tayong iba't ibang uri ng mga folk dance. Pero dito sa elementary, sa folk dances, kailangan basic steps muna yung ituturo natin sa mga bata. Kailangan dito magmumula kung ano ba yung mga basic steps na ginagamit sa pagsasayaw ng folk. At ang tamang pagtuturo ng folk dance ay mayroong simpleng steps lamang. Huwag masyadong complicated yung gagamitin natin. Kaya kalimitan, yung mga familiar na folk dance natin, such as polka sanayon, at saka, ano ba, karinyosa, dito siya itinuturo sa elementary. Okay. Then we also have the other dance forms. So this includes dance mixers such as jazz, modern dance, and the social and ballroom dancing. Okay, so other dance forms aside from folk dance. So syempre hindi rin naman lagi na lang folk dance ang tuturo natin sa mga bata. So kailangan meron ding mga jazz, modern dance, yan ang pinakagusto ng mga bata ngayon, most especially pag may nauusong music. So patutugtugin lang yan ni teacher, then sasaliw na ng steps ang mga bata sa modern dance na yan. So yan yung mga rhythmic activities na mayroon sa elementary. So, ano nga ulit yung ating mga activities na yon? So, the first one na activity natin ay ang fundamental rhythms. The other one is the rhythmic interpretations such as the mimetic rhythms and the dramatized rhythms. Sa pangatlo po ay ang singing games, pang-apat ay folk dances, at ang panglima ay ang ating other dance forms. So, yan po ang pangatlo sa category ng ating activities in the elementary school program. Yan po ang ating rhythmic activities. Okay. Then, pang-apat sa ating mga categories ang tinatawag natin na educational gymnastics. So, sa elementary, nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng gymnastics. So, ano ba yung gymnastics? This is a systematic body exercises or feats of performance which are based on scientific principles. Pag sinabi nating feats, ito yung kakayahan or endurance ng bata sa isang performance. Bakit kailangan may feats dito? Kasi hindi naman basta-basta kailangan ituro, hindi basta-basta itinuturo ang gymnastics. So, itinuturo ito batay sa kakayahan ng bata at how long they can endure the flexibility. Kasi nangangailangan ang gymnastics ng flexibility. Okay. So, the first under the educational gymnastics ay ang tinatawag natin na self-testing activities. Okay. Self-testing para malaman natin sa sarili natin ano ba yung mga activities na kaya nating gawin na naaakma sa ating kakayahan. So these are activities or feats of performance wherein an individual can test his ability to perform a different activity. You're going to test your own activity kung kaya mo bang gawin yung mga mahihirap na activity. Kung hindi mo kaya, wag pipilitin. So kung hanggang doon lang yung kaya ng katawan, then be it. Wag pilitin kung hindi kaya. So although meron tayo minsan mga tina-target na mga halimbawa ito yung target natin, so wag nating pipilitin yung mga bata na ma-hit yung target. Kung talagang hindi nila kaya, be it. Yun na yun. Okay? Pero as we go along, bago magtapos yung taon, kailangan kung talagang yun ang target natin at alam natin na yun ay akma sa bata, gagawa tayo ng paraan kung paano gagawin ng bata yung mga bagay na yun, ma-hit nila at the end of school year. Pero that is gradually developing. Hindi pwedeng sa isang bigla ay yun na kaagad yung ma-hit nila. So, as we go along, unti-unti, madidevelop natin yung bata. Okay, so the first one under the gymnastics or the self-testing activities, ang tinatawag natin na stunts. Meron tayong iba't ibang uri ng stunts. Okay, so we have the individual stunts. Okay, ang example na individual stunts nito ay ang duck walk, dog run, crab walk, and the coffee grinder. Kung mapapansin niyo dun sa logo ko dito, sa stunts na to, yan. So, ang nandyan po ay ang coffee grinder. At pag sinabi natin na individual stunt, ito ay ginagawa ng iisang tao lamang. Kaya mo tong gawin by yourself. Okay? So, individual stunts, ginagawa ng sa sarili mo lamang. Then the other one we also have the dual or the couple stunt. So, meron tayong sample at Chinese get up, ring the dish rag, and wheelbarrow. So, itong nasa picture na to, ang tinatawag dyan ay ring the dish rag. Okay, isa siyang uri ng stunt na partner sila. Kaya nga tinawag na couple stunt. Ginagawa ito ng dalawang tao. Ganun din yung wheelbarrow kung saan hinahawakan ng isa yung paa and then isusulong. Ang gagamitin ng isa naman ay yung kanyang kamay sa paglalakad. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na wheelbarrow. So, ginagawa ito ng dalawang tao. So, sa pangatlo nating stunts, meron tayong tinatawag na group stunt. Okay? So, ito ay maramihan na. So, hindi lang 3, 4, marami na din. Okay, so group stunts, walking chair, skin the snake, and merry-go-round. Ayan. So, yung merry-go-round, familiar tayo doon. So, grupo siya, yung alternate siya, 1, 3, 5, 7, nakababa. Tapos yung namang mag-iikot is yung 2, 4, 6, 8. Ganun, halimbawa lang yon. So, group stunts, ginagawa siya ng grupo or ng maraming tao. And the other one, under the stunts, ay ang tinatawag natin na combative stunt. Pag sinabi natin combative, syempre meron ditong tinatawag na competition. Yan. Siyempre, lagi namang mas maganda kapag mayroong competition. We have the rooster fight, the tag of war, Indian hand wrestle. Okay, so tag of war, familiar tayo sa tag of war. So, ito yung laro kung saan kailangan nating manalo against other teams. Okay? So, yan yung mga stunts na tinatawag natin. So, we have the individual stunt, the dual or the couple stunt, the group stunt, and the combative stunt. Okay. Then, another one sa educational gymnastics, ang tinatawag natin na tumbling. Yan. So, isa sa pinakasikat na gymnastics styles ay ang tinatawag natin na tumbling. So, tumbling is any body rolling movements. So, kapag ikaw ay nag-roll, yan, ikaw ay nag-tumbling. Example, forward roll, backward roll, cartwheel, egg roll. So, yan. So, yan yung mga ginagamit na yan, mga nabanggit ko, yan ay under tumbling. And the other one for the gymnastics ay tinatawag natin na pyramid building. Okay, ito yung kalimitan nakikita natin sa mga cheer dances and sa mga cheerleading competitions. So, pyramid building. So, a grouping of 2 or more individuals who are in a symmetrical position as a test on ability to hold oneself in a certain position within a minute or 2. Okay. So, yan. Ito yung, kumbaga ay, a grouping of 2 or more individuals. So, maramihan na to. Tapos, kailangan matatag yung foundation nito para hindi bumagsak yung pyramid. Okay? So, ability to hold oneself in a certain position within a minute or 2. So, kailangan magstay ang pyramid ng a minute or 2. Kailangan talaga matitibay yung nasa base ito. Grupo ng mga individual na kayang tumagal sa isang position na hindi nahuhulog. Okay? And that is under the educational gymnastics, ang tinatawag natin na self-testing activities. We have the stunts, the tumbling, and the pyramid building. So, another one for our educational gymnastics ay ang tinatawag natin na conditioning exercise. Kanina ay self-testing activity, ngayon naman ay ang conditioning exercises. Okay, so conditioning exercises, these are activities or feats of performance wherein an individual can test his ability to perform a difficult activity. Okay, so ang aim nito is to tone up and strengthen the muscles for the improvement and maintenance of the physical fitness. Yun ang pinaka-aim ng conditioning exercise. Tinotone up at pinalalakas ang muscle para ma-improve at ma-maintain ang physical fitness. Conditioning exercises. Okay. So, what are the different conditioning exercises? Meron tayong three categories na tinatawag sa ating educational gymnastics. The first one ay ang tinatawag natin na isotonic exercises. It is when the muscle are made to do some contractions to gain tonus. So, ang isa sa mga example ng isotonic exercises ay ang calisthenics or freehand exercise and exercise with equipments. So, ano ba yung mas magandang example nito? Squats. So, kapag ka ikaw ay nag-i-squats, this involves straining of the muscle while moving joints and applying weights. Okay, so yan, nag-i-squat tayo, nag-move tayo. So, yan ang isotonic exercise when the muscle are made to do some contractions to gain tonus. The next one ay ang ating isometric exercises. So when the muscle are made to undergo tension without contraction and held in the position for some time in order to develop muscle strength. Yan. So, yung pinaka-keyword sa isometric na yan is held in a position for some time. Static. You are not moving. For example, plank. Yung basic plank na tinatawag natin. So, these don't require you to move and bend any joints. Naka-steady ka lang. Pero, na-exercise ka at natutone yung iyong muscle dyan. So, nagkakaroon siya ng tension without contraction. So, yan ang tinatawag natin na isometric exercise. And the last one, under the conditioning exercise, ang tinatawag natin na aerobic exercises. It is when very vigorous movements are performed, such as brisk walking, jogging, running, skipping, and the like, and the body experiences fast breathing so that the muscles of the heart and lungs are exercised. A very vigorous movements. Malaki yung movement dito sa aerobic exercise kasi hindi ka magkakaroon ng magandang exercise kung maliit lang yung movement mo. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng development sa sarili mo kung maliit yung magiging movement mo sa aerobic exercise. So, dapat vigorous ang movement. Malaki ang movement nito. At the same time, ang tendency ng ating katawan ay nakaka-experience tayo ng mabilis na paghinga. Once na nagkakaroon tayo ng aerobic exercise, bumibilis ang tibok ng ating puso. So, ito ay nakakatulong sa ating heart, gayon din sa ating lungs. Okay. And that is for our conditioning exercise. We have the isotonic exercise, the isometric exercise, and the aerobic exercise. Okay. Then we also have under the educational gymnastics, pangatlo, kung kanina ay self-testing activities, ang pangalawa ay conditioning exercise, ang pangatlo natin ay ang tinatawag na apparatus exercises. Okay. So itong apparatus exercises, these are exercises performed with light equipment such as rings, wands, dumbbells, or balls. Also, exercises performed on heavy apparatuses such as balance beams, vaulting horse, trampoline, parallel bars, and among others. Okay. So, yun yung mga gumagamit ng different apparatus, props, and equipments. So, that is under the educational gymnastics, the apparatus exercises. Okay, so I think that's all for our educational gymnastics, and we will now proceed to our fifth main category of the activities in the elementary school program. At ang panglima natin ay ang sports game. Siyempre, hindi ito mawawala at ito yung pinaka-inaabangan ng ating mga estudyante. Lagi, sports game. Okay, so ano ba yung sports games na tinatawag? So, sometimes called lead-up game or games of high organization. Pag sinabi nating high organization, meron tayong mga simplified rules and regulations na sinusunod. So, hindi lang ito basta maglalaro ka, na ikaw yung gagawa ng sarili mong rule, or bata na bahalang gumawa ng rule. No. Itong sports game na ito, meron tayong sinusunod na mga rules sa paglalaro na kalimitan ito ay dapat itinuturo ng maayos sa mga elementary students. Kasi kalalakihan na nila to. So kapag tinuruan natin sila ng maling rules and regulations tungkol sa isang sports, so lalaki sila na yun yung matututunan nila yung mali. So habang bata pa lang dapat alam na nila kung ano yung tama, what are the fundamental skills na kailangang gawin or rules and regulations sa isang particular na sports. Okay, ano pa kaya? So these have more complicated rules than the group games played in a lower elementary level. Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, complicated na yung rules nito. Kung kanina ay bara-bara yung mga rules or basta-basta lang yung mga rules na ginagamit, so this one, meron talaga tayong sinusunod na mga rules. So hindi tayo pwedeng mag-deviate kung ano talaga yung rules na kailangang sundin. Okay, they involve the skills used or needed in a particular sports. So, involve the skills. So, kailangan talaga kung anong skills yun talaga yung gagawin. Kung dribbling halimbawa, spiking, like that. Okay, so example, volleyball type games. Yan, so ano yung dinidrill doon? So, spiking, like blocking, softball type games, catching, throwing, basketball types, dribbling, passing, soccer types, kicking, yung mga ganun. Okay, so ito yung iba't ibang uri ng sports games. Okay, and those are the activities in the secondary school program. And for our sixth main category ay ang tinatawag natin na athletic sports. Okay? So, ano yung mga athletic sports? These refer to traditional games and sports which are highly organized. Okay? Ito yung mga traditional games na highly organized at strictly sinusunod natin ang mga rules and regulations nito. Okay? So, we have 4 categories under the athletic sports. The first one ay ang tinatawag natin na team sports. Okay, team sports such as volleyball, softball, basketball, soccer, baseball, and many others. Okay, marami tayong mga team sports. As pag sinabi nating team, ito ay mga sports na pang-grupo or pang-maramihan. Next one, meron tayong tinatawag na individual or dual sports. Individual, pwedeng isa, sarili mo, ikaw lang yung gagawa. Dual, pwede kayong magka-tandem or meron kang ka-duet or kasama sa isang laro. Okay, so those are badminton, syempre may kalaban ka dyan, table tennis, bowling, lawn tennis, archery, and others. Okay, so those are the individual dual sports. Then we also have the track and field. Okay, this consists of track events such as sprints, runs, and relays. So lahat na nangyayari sa track, sa oval, those are track events. At ang nangyayari sa loob or sa labas ng track, tinatawag natin na field events. Okay? So, such as long jump, high jump, discus throw, javelin throw, and shot put. Okay? So, ito yung combination ng throwing, yan, yung long jump, high jump. So, yan ay under ng field events. The track and field events. At ang ating pang-apat sa ating athletic sports ay ang tinatawag natin na swimming. Okay, this is optional. Siyempre, hindi naman lahat ng school ay kayang mag-provide ng swimming pool o kaya naman ay napakahirap ituro ng swimming. Kaya ito po ay optional kasi pag hindi tayo sanay na magturo ng ganito, baka magkasya ng accident. Okay? So, it is optional and may be included in the program of schools which have swimming pools. Kung ang school natin ay mayroong swimming pools, pwede tayong mag-offer ng swimming. Pero kung wala naman, so pwedeng wala na ito. Pwedeng mag-focus na lang tayo sa individual dual sports and sa team sports. Okay? So, those are the activities for the elementary school program. Okay, so that concludes our activities in the elementary schools program. So to recap those activities, meron tayong tinatawag na developmental activities. This is the first activity. Then we have the simple games or group games. Number 3, we have the rhythmic activities. Number 4, the educational gymnastics. Number 5, the sports types games or the lead-up games. And the number 6 are the athletic sports. So, yun yung mga 6 na categories under the elementary schools program. So, at this juncture, we will now proceed to the activities in the secondary school program. So, physical education, isa ito sa mga subject component ng Youth Development Training or ng YDT sa secondary school curriculum, no? So, activities in the secondary school program, ito yung mga pagpapatuloy ng mga gawain sa elementary grades. Inaasahan na ang mga bata ay na-master na or naging familiar na sa mga basic skills at na-develop na ang special skills na kailangan sa kanyang physical fitness. Katulad ng lagi kong binabanggit, sa elementary, itinuturo yung mga fundamental basic skills and a particular component sa physical education. So, dito naman sa secondary school program or sa activities dito ay itutuloy lamang natin at i-develop lamang natin. Dapat na master na ng bata kung ano yung mga acquired skills niya nung siya ay nasa elementary pa lamang. So, what are the activities in the secondary school program? Meron tayong tinatawag na 4 general categories. And the first one for the activity, ang tinatawag natin na physical fitness and conditioning exercises. We were going to discuss that later on. The other one, ang tinatawag natin na gymnastics. Okay? Ang pangatlo rather ay ang dance at ang pang-apat natin ay ang games and sports. Kung mapapansin natin, hindi halos nagkakalayo yung mga skills or activities na tinuturo sa elementary compared to secondary. The only thing is, dinidevelop siya. So, kung baga, sabi ko kanina, yung sa elementary, basic yung itinuturo. Ngayon, sa secondary, itutuloy. I-develop pa. Okay? At dito itinitest kung ano ba talaga yung natutunan ng bata nung siya nasa elementary years pa lamang or elementary grade. Okay, so first category ng activities in the secondary school program ay ang tinatawag natin na physical fitness. Okay? So, physical fitness, this is conducted at the beginning of the school year in order for the students to identify their strengths and weaknesses. Mapapansin yan, alam natin yan as an educator. So, ang kauna-unahan lagi nating tinatopic ay ang physical fitness. At ang isa sa pinakakauna-unahan nating kinukuha dyan ay ang body composition, which includes the height, the weight, and the BMI or the body mass index. Doon pa lamang malalaman na natin kung anong uri ng katawan mayroon ang ating mga estudyante. Okay, saan ba siya kulang? Kulang ba siya sa height? Kulang ba siya sa weight? Saan ba siya labis? Labis ba siya sa height? Labis ba siya sa weight? Or normal ba siya? So, dyan, kinukuha na natin kaagad pa lamang sa beginning of the school year to assess the strengths and weaknesses of our students. Okay? And of course, kung kaya ba ng mga batang gawin yung mga bagay-bagay under the physical fitness test. So, such as sit and reach, basic plank, zipper test, marami pang mga physical fitness test ang ginagawa diyan. Okay? Then we also have the results will be used by the physical education teachers, katulad natin, in selection of activities as well as teaching strategies. Pag na-conduct na natin yung physical fitness test at the beginning of the school year, i-assess natin ang mga bata. Ano yung kailangan niya? Ano yung malakas siya? ano yung mahina siya. So, doon tayo gagawa ng mga activities na naaayon sa kakayahan ng ating mga estudyante as well as teaching strategy. Kasi pag nalaman na natin, ano ba yung kailangan ng estudyante ko? Saan mahina ang estudyante ko? So, magkakaroon tayo ng strategy. Magpo-formulate tayo ng strategy kung paano natin mapapalakas ang ating estudyante at maaalis yung kanyang mga kahinaan. Okay. Then we also have administered again at the end of school year in order to find out any improvements gained. Siyempre, kung meron tayong pre-test, meron tayong post-test. So, nagbigay tayo at the beginning of school year, magkakandak ulit tayo ng physical fitness test bago mag-end ang school year para malaman natin kung nagkaroon ba ng development doon sa skills ng bata. Okay? So, yun ay para ma-assess natin kung effective ba as a teacher yung ginawa nating teaching strategies, kung nag-gain ba ng skills, ng knowledge, ng learning ang bata mula sa atin, batay sa pag-assess natin sa kanilang skills noong unang school year pa lang, the beginning of the school year. Kaya, kinakandak ulit natin ang post-test ng physical fitness test. Okay. Pangalawa, meron tayong tinatawag na gymnastics. So, meron ng gymnastics sa elementary, katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, at ngayon naman ay gymnastics naman tayo sa high school. So, given more emphasis in grade 7 than in higher grade. Kasi nga, continuation siya. At isa pa, mas kayang gawin ng mga bata ang sa grade 7 ang gymnastics. Pagdating kasi ng mga bata sa grade 8, grade 9, ito yung time na medyo nahihiya na silang gawin. O sige nga, pabukakain mo nga yung estudyante mo, di ba? Ang hirap na, parang awkward na para sa isang grade 9 and grade 8. Although, kailangan nilang gawin, pero hindi na sila ganon ka-eager na gawin as compare sa grade 7 kasi nga nagdadalaga na sila at nagbibinata na. Okay. So, educational gymnastics. So, educational gymnastics is the type needed in the school program, not competitive or exhibition games. So, ito yung pang-school program lang na gymnastics. Hindi siya ginagawa para magkaroon ng competition or exhibition games sa iba. So, ito ay purely for the school program lang natin. Okay. So, ano ba yung mga activities under the educational gymnastics? So, meron tayong self-testing activities or stunts, katulad ng binanggit ko kanina sa elementary, rhythmic exercises, simple apparatus activities such as balance beam exercises are not suitable for high school students who are in their early adolescent years. So, hindi applicable or suitable sa mga bata yung paggamit ng mga simple apparatuses such as balance beams. Siyempre, malilikot pa mga yan, mahilig pa mga yang maglaro. They are not yet serious enough to handle this kind of gymnastics. Kaya hindi nababagay para sa mga grade 7 students na gumamit ng ganitong mga apparatus. Pero, ito ay applicable sa mga grades 9 and 10. Okay? At yung mga complicated stunts in gymnastics such as forward and backward roll, split, cartwheel, heavy apparatuses ay para lamang sa mga potential gymnasts na ilalaban ng school or ititrain sa exhibition or sa mga competitions. Yan. So meron din namang mga boundary ang gymnastics. Not all skills sa gymnastics ay ituturo natin sa mga bata. So, yung mga iba pang mga gymnastics, complicated stunts, ituturo natin siya sa mga estudyante natin na panlaban natin sa gymnastics. Kasi meron talaga tayong mga gymnastics competitions. Okay. So, ang pangatlo natin ay ang syempre dance. Yan. Hindi yan mawawala sa ating activities in the school program, ang dance, most especially kapag ang mga estudyante natin ay mga nagbibinata, nagdadalaga na, mas lalo silang napapahilig sa dance. Kaya kalimitan bumubuo ang high school ng isang dance troupe. Okay. So, extension of the rhythmic activities in the elementary curriculum. Katulad ng binanggit ko kanina, ito ay ang pagpapatuloy lamang ng mga natutunan ng mga bata sa elementary. Extension of rhythmic activities in the elementary curriculum. Okay. So, adolescents may now be taught more of folk dances. Katulad kanina, binanggit ko yung folk dance. Ngayon, folk dances naman, but this time both native and foreign folk dances. At mas complicated na yung mga ginagamit natin ng mga steps, kumbaga pang high level na itong mga folk dances na ituturo natin sa ating mga bata sa grades 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we also have modern dance. Yan, ako, gustong-gusto yan ng mga bata natin ngayon. Mga modern dance, mga sikat na mga tugtugin o mga sayawin. Then we also have the jazz dance, mga jazz. And we also have the social and ballroom dancing. Okay. So, yan yung apat na uri ng dances under sa activities na ini-implement sa ating secondary school program. So, the folk dance, the modern dance, the jazz dance, and the social dancing. And the last one, ang tinatawag natin na sports. Hindi ito talaga mawawala, no? Ang sports. So, sports is given the most emphasis in the physical education program. Ito yung mas pinagbabatayan natin. Binibigyang importansya ng physical education program ng sports at dinidevelop natin. Diba? Meron tayong mga hinahandle, as an educator, meron tayong mga hinahandle na sports. Meron diyang badminton, merong volleyball, meron din tayong basketball, yan. So, yung mga iba't ibang uri ng sports ay binibigyan natin ng mas kaukulang prioridad during the high school years. Okay. So the fundamental skills included in a specific sport should be first learned and practiced or mastered before a student gets into real sports. So ano yung una? So fundamental skills muna, i-learn, ipa-practice, i-master bago ang bata gets into the real sport. Okay? Yun muna yung una, mga basic. Pag-aaral muna, i-review yung mga natutunan ng elementary. Then, kapag ka na-review na ito, naalala na, natutunan na, na-master na, saka ang bata ilalagay into real sports. Okay? So, inuunang pag-aralan ang mga fundamental skills bago ito isabak sa tunay na laro. Lagi naman ganun. Fundamental skills muna. Then we also have the lead-up games or the sport-type games and also enjoyable activities wherein the grade 7 and grade 8 students may participate as they practice or refine the skills required in the real game. So, the foundation ng basic skills. So, wherein yung grade 7 at grade 8 students ang magpa-participate. Tapos, pagdating nila ng grade 9, grade 10, saka sila isasabak. Ganun lagi. So, kalimitan, yung mga 7, 8, reserve natin yan. Okay? Then, pero tinitrain na rin natin. Pero pag may nakita tayo na potential talaga sa bata, kahit 7 or 8, isinasabak na natin. Okay? So, yan. So, kumbaga, sa 7 and 8, ito yung refined skills ang dinidevelop natin sa mga bata sa sports. So, ano ba yung mga iba't ibang uri ng sports na itinuturo natin sa ating mga bata or mga activities na meron sa secondary school program? So, the first one, yan, volleyball. Second one, from its logo, basketball. The other one, this one, softball. Then we have soccer, badminton, table tennis, lawn tennis, sepak takraw, archery, martial arts, track and field, and swimming. So, ito yung mga iba't ibang uri ng sports na itinuturo sa secondary school program. Okay? So, I think ayan. So, games and sports are broken down into more specific learning units. Yan yun. Yan yung mga games and sports na itinuturo. Okay? So, I think that's so much for now. So, sana po ay may natutunan kayo sa aking diniscuss. So, those are the different activities in the elementary and secondary schools program. So, muli po, bago po ako magtapos, i-recap po muna natin kung ano-ano ba yung mga different activities under the elementary school program. So, the first one is the developmental activities, the simple games. Number 2, number 3, the rhythmic activities. Number 4, educational gymnastics. Number 5, sport type games. Number 6, the athletic sports. So, para naman po sa ating activities in the secondary school program, so we have the physical fitness and conditioning exercises, gymnastics, dance, games, and sports. So, that's all for today. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. So, again, this is Norman Calalo. Thank you so much po.